Hey everyone, and welcome to the show. Today we'll be visiting Fort Donelson near Dover, Tennessee. There is a historical Civil War cemetery there. There is a battlefield there, and there's some historical buildings there. I'm not sure if we'll get to everything today. You know, it's a shorter program. My vlogs are usually a lot shorter than the regular programs, but I do hope you stick around to the end and comment and like, and let's get going. So during the Civil War, a Civil War trench probably would have looked something like this. They would be dug in with their troops all along the line throughout the trench. And then on the other side of the mound that they create, that's where their targets would be, where they'd be using their black powder rifles. In most cases, it wasn't a very even fight. If you were down in the trenches, if they were above you and you were below, it was basically game over. But the Civil War was not a pretty war, and a lot of lives were lost. In this episode, we will try and find some information and some history about the battle and what took place at Fort Henry and Fort Donelson. Stay tuned. We'll be back in a little bit. Hey everyone, how are you doing today? Welcome back to another little visit to a park in, this time, Dover, Tennessee. So today I am taking a little walk around the Donelson Battlefield and Graveyard in the National Cemetery. We're going to be going there soon. And it's interesting because you come through here and you think about the wars that might have happened here at one time. War back then was brutal. I mean, they'd be charging each other. They'd have one bullet that they would be able to use at a time. Then they would have to stop, reload, and go again. And sometimes that would be too late and they'd be butchered with a bayonet on the end of someone else's rifle. The American history is full of bloody wars and racial cleansings, and just overall, if we don't like you, we're gonna destroy you kind of thing. It was a horrible war that ended on bad terms, and today there's still bad people who believe that the wrong side won the war. So today we're taking a little walk around the park. We're going to see what we come up with. And so, in a minute, I'm going to tell you about a special guest that I have with me. So stick with us and I'll be right back. Hi everyone, my special guest that I mentioned is my sister Melissa. Got her off of a day of work today, and I'm glad to have her along. And she's got a couple things she'd like to talk to you guys about, and I'm really thankful for having her with us. Lisa, what's on your mind?
Well, I agree with you with what you said earlier about how our wars are so brutal, and it's for every little thing. I mean, if you're a different color, they want to fight you. If you're a different religion, they want to fight you. I mean, if you're a different nationality, they'll want to fight you. And it's just sad. And back then, the wars were brutal. I mean, they just charged each other.
They totally were.
They didn't have forts or rocks to hide in. They just started charging each other and shooting. And remember, back then, they only had a one-shot gun, and they had to keep stopping to reload that thing. So, you know, that messed up their time as far as trying to be safe, because, you know, that gives the other guy a chance to shoot them.
Yeah.
Take their legs up. And back then too, you know, remember, there was not a lot of medicines and doctors, and if there was a medic on with you, he'd have to do whatever he could. If your leg was like destroyed, they had to chop that leg off, or they had to chop your arm off, just so gangrene didn't set in, so you didn't die from bleeding to death. And
True.
Solder the suture the wound.
Yeah.
And another good question we might want to ask the park ranger lady is, when this war was going on, when they died, was there some soldiers that were buried here? Or how did they do that? I mean, did they just like put rocks on them or like a marker on them so they can come back and get them later? I mean, it makes you think, you know, what went on, you know?
Yeah, it definitely makes you think about what's going on. And maybe it's one of those things that says things that make you go,
Yes, most definitely. And I love history, so I love this opportunity to be able to come here with my brother. And especially this, and we're getting ready to go to a cemetery right now, and I'm hoping we can find some awesome graves and get some good stuff there.
All right. All right, guys, well, stick with us. We'll get some more footage for you. See you in a little bit. Wow, everyone, remember we said we're trying to find the National Cemetery? Well, look at this. We came to the top of this hill, and look at these are all broken up freaking gravestones. That is just sad. And I don't know if they're trying to restore them or what, but man. And even if they are trying to restore them, are they going to even remember where these people are buried? Holy cow. That is just sad. Wow. That's just amazing, guys. And here we are, guys and girls. This is the National Cemetery at Fort Donelson. And what we see World War II, we see a Vietnam. Lots of history in this little, well, not little, area here. And as you look, you can see the older stones that I bet are from even earlier. St. McBride, Illinois, 566, 565. I wonder if this is when they died, what soldier they were. 564th death, 565th death. And so you have old and new soldiers here. So basically, if you served in the military at one time, you can be buried here. God bless the soldiers that served this great country of ours. It's a shame that some of the wars were unnecessary. And it is what it is. But our country is free because of these soldiers, these men, these women that served their time to make sure that you and us and everyone can rest in peace. Amen, brothers and sisters. Amen. Stand in silence and awe. Pray for the lost that gave their life for the future of our country. Pray for them. Let them know that you are here, honoring them and their families that served for this country. May they all rest in peace, and may God carry their souls safely to the great beyond. Hey everyone. So, did you stick along for the whole show? I hope you did. So, today was an interesting little log. My sister Lisa was able to spend a little of her time, and she's relatively really busy, so it's hard to get her to come along. So, it's absolutely wonderful to have her along. So, today we got the chance to take a look at the cemetery and learn some interesting history. A couple things, couple facts, which of course we couldn't tell in the video, was that since I don't have a drone yet, which I'm working on, I guess most national cemeteries, they have the flags in an actual circle, whereas at Fort Donelson, they basically have it in a big heart, which is really cool. I think that's really awesome. I mean, that's for all the veterans, known and unknown, who served the country, and did their best to protect whatever their beliefs were at the same time. Also, we learned another couple things which were quite interesting. So when you come to this cemetery, there's actually markers, and these markers actually all have a number on it. The interesting about that thing is that you can actually go, because there's a little building nearby where you can actually go in on the computer and you can actually do research and get a little more information on the gravestone that you saw, which is kind of cool. So if they have any kind of information or facts on the person who was buried at that marker, you can look it up and find out who it is. So I found that to be really cool. We also learned that it's not really an active cemetery per se. Most of the people that are already buried here, they're really basically family members of the soldiers who are already here. We got the chance to talk to a ranger fellow. He was really nice, and he was saying that they have maybe a total of maybe 4 burials here a year. So that's pretty small factor comparatively. So I guess a lot of the other soldiers go to like the bigger, the much bigger national cemetery. So that's interesting to find out. Also, for my macabre and dark friends out there who like weird stuff, I guess at one time they actually had a marker here, a gravestone marker that actually said arms and legs. Pretty creepy, huh? But I guess, because in the Civil War, I mean, there wasn't a lot of medical technology. A lot of people lost limbs, and so due to that, you know, you had legs and arms and stuff like that had to be buried. So yeah, kind of weird, ain't it? But yeah, so they had at one time, and I do say at one time because a couple years ago, I guess there was an outcry from the people, and they said, "Oh, you know, we don't want that. That's too dark, and you know, that's evil." I think it's part. It should be part of the history of the place because that just goes to show that there was people there that died, you know, in a battle that really was unnecessary as far as, you know, we know, but it happened and it happened and we can't go back and fix it. We didn't get a chance to go to the battlefield. Hopefully the next time I get a chance to go there, I'll be able to check out the battlefield and hopefully be able to get some interesting historical facts about there. And also, there's some historical buildings that we didn't get a chance to go to. We kind of ran out of time and it was about to rain. So, you know, we didn't stick around too long. But I do appreciate you hanging around for another one of my vlogs. Me and Mike are still working on the 3-part series for Land Between the Lakes. So I really hope you stick around and keep checking in. And the best way to find out when those go live is that bell that's to the bottom right of your screen. Go ahead and click it. And under your options, select all alerts. And what will happen is anytime we put up something new, whether it's a vlog or whether it is something that is related to Land Between the Lakes or something else that's interesting, that'll let you know and say, hey, check it out. They got a new video posted. So go ahead, check it out. You know, look at some of the other videos. I'll put some cards to some of the other videos that we've done. Again, thank you so much for spending your time with me. And today, my sister. So, as usual, love you guys. Be safe. Stay hydrated. And I'll see you in the next Campground of America. Goodbye, all.